Hi everyone, Chris here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit more about ISO. It seems there was a little confusion in what I was sharing yesterday. When I said what exactly is ISO and it has to do with chemicals on the plastic, well, today I'm going to share what ISO is and where it came from and how it's used today in digital photography. So ISO literally refers to the size of the silver crystals that were put on the back of the plastic that were photosensitive. If you had a small ISO, it literally meant a small crystal. It was less sensitive to light because the crystals were smaller. A larger ISO had larger crystals. They were more sensitive to light, and because they were larger. So where was the trade-off? Why wouldn't you just use the big crystals all the time and have really sensitive film? Well, the crystals were larger, so you had a grainier image. Kind of like, well, it was the original pixilation to think of it in one way. So smaller ISO, smaller crystals, finer detail. Larger crystals, larger ISO, more light sensitivity, but grainier. Kind of works similar to your digital camera. And in dark situations where you get the pixilation and the graininess. And that's because when cameras moved from film to digital, there wasn't an ISO. You don't have a setting on the actual light sensor in your camera. So what happens is the software will boost that light, um, that light image. And when you boost it, you get a little bit of a pixelation, you get a little bit of graininess. So that's essentially where ISO comes from and how it's related today. If you're still using film, well, it's the size of the crystal on the plastic. If you're using digital, it has to do with the amount of light enhancement that's going on the computational side. And that generally results in a loss of detail. So, but again, it depends on your goal. If you need to get more light in you need a faster shutter, and you need to have a smaller aperture, then you'll need to raise the ISO, raise those virtual crystal sizes. And yeah, so that's where it comes from. And that's how it really boils down. And the ISO is used to balance out the needs of shutter speed and aperture because those have a very, very significant impact on the composition of the photo. Anyway, that's all I have for today. So I will talk with you tomorrow.